Welcome to the Austin All Day Podcast. I'm Jason Powers, and joining us here is Chef Heather Payne and Musket of Dai Due. Dai Due has two locations, one in the fairgrounds on 2nd and Congress and the other off Manor. Please follow the podcast on Instagram, share it with your friends and family, support the podcast on Patreon, sit back, grab a drink, and check it out. So we're here with Heather and Musket from Dai Due. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close enough.
I had to ask people today. I was like, how do you exactly pronounce
We
it?
get that question a lot.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do. And the meaning behind it?
Of the two kingdoms of nature, choose your food with care.
There we go.
Yeah. So I think the idea is land and sea. So we get everything from Texas. We get the produce from Texas. We get fish from the Gulf. We get meat. I mean, it's Texas. It's not hard to get meat here.
It's all focused. And you're born and raised in Austin.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect fit for you, right?
Yeah, it works out really well.
Yeah. I'm sure. And Heather, you've been with the company to get this started, you're actually departing and you're actually moving into her role.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So I've been there almost exactly 2 years now, and I actually got hired on as like a prep and counter person. But I knew that I was just interested in going to Dai Due so that I could do some more like butchering stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna get my foot in the door however I can.
That's how I felt about it too.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's your jam, right?
Yeah.
Butchery, right?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's not the only thing I've ever done, but it's something that I really enjoy. It's like meditation. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Really sent out on it.
yeah,
It's good stuff.
try not to stab yourself.
It happens.
Born and raised in Austin, and you were
Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
And then when did you get over here?
I came here in 2007, so I moved around a lot, but I moved here from California. So I was working at a restaurant in California,
Okay.
and I found out about a management position at a restaurant that we briefly worked at together
Yeah, that was
that we
funny.
didn't realize until he got hired on at Dai Due.
Oh, you didn't even realize it?
Yeah, and he came in. He did a stage when I wasn't working,
Yeah.
and then his first day, I was there, and he came in. I was like, I know this guy.
Kept asking me like, where do I know you from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was like,
Where was
I know you.
Where'd you do the stage? Where was that?
Well, the stage was at Dai Due,
Yes.
but where we
okay.
worked together was Houston's or Bartlett's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Bartlett's?
It
when
was
you were there?
Bartlett's when I went.
Yeah. So I started there when it was Houston's, but he came in and he was there just like kind of right as I was leaving.
Right, all right.
I
It's a
didn't stay there very
theme.
long.
It's a theme.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot happen in Austin. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've been cooking for how long?
16, 17 years, something like
Okay. Where did you start at?
that. My first job was at the Oasis, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like my first cooking job, anyway.
Yeah.
And that was what it is. And then I was going to culinary school, and I ended up getting a job at Mars Restaurant that closed down a few years ago, quite a few years ago now.
Sure.
But that was like my first delving into really good food, everything from scratch kind of a place.
And
Not
did
as
you-
much as we do at Dai Due. That's nowhere does as scratch as we do. In my
I know.
opinion.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very fitting for both of you. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But so when you were at Oasis, was that just a job or were you like into culinary arts?
No, I had already gotten into it and started school.
Okay.
And went around trying to find jobs, and I got turned down from Olive Gardens and Johnny Carino's and stuff like that.
And at that time, was the scene really different? I mean, that was 16 years ago-ish, right?
Yeah, almost exactly 16, 17, something like that. But yeah, I mean, the scene was pretty good, but there weren't a whole lot of major restaurants that everybody knew about.
Right.
There was a lot of chains and little like Austin institutions, like Threadgills and stuff.
Yeah.
And you go eat there and you're like, where's the flavor?
Right.
And Mars had been there for quite a while before I got there too.
Yeah, I had not heard of it, but we had Michael Barnes on here recently, and he was talking about that a bit. So, and he's seen a lot change around here too. He worked a lot at that the backyard,
Okay.
catering over there. Which
Yeah.
is cool stories. Check that out. But so where did you originally start cooking?
I was cooking in high school. I actually started with cake decorating classes, like when I was in middle school.
Okay.
And it was something that my mom signed up for in the local like craft store. I think it was
yeah.
a Michael's. And I was bored, and I tagged along with her one day, and I started cake decorating, and she ended up hating it, and I loved it. So she would have to like drop me off for the classes because it was like a multi-day class thing. So like skills based, and you like go home and you practice and you whatever. And then I would cook at home, and at some point I was like, oh, I could do this for a living. This is like a real job. And so my school was, I mean, once I got into high school, they had a program called Food Technology and Management, which was a really, I don't know, I think that's pretty progressive for the time that I was in school. I mean, it was the late 90s, but it was...
This was high school?
Yeah. So when I got into high school, there was like, you take a home ec class, like a prereq course.
Sure.
And then they had a school-run restaurant. And the first year of the program, you actually learn like the basic skills. And the second year, you run the restaurant. And the third year, you just go out and work. So my senior year of high school, I had like one class a day. And I would just go work full-time. So I've been...
That would have been the incentive for me to sign up for that.
Yeah.
Course.
Yeah. I was like, I got to go take English. That's fine.
Yeah.
And
Be
then
working
just go...
anyway.
just go work the rest of the day.
Cool. So you guys both got into like culinary arts pretty young.
Yeah.
I guess I was about 18 when I...
Forever ago.
Yeah.
It's so long.
Lady doesn't talk about how long ago that was.
So Heather leaving, I mean, that's got to be a little bittersweet. It seems like a really, really cool spot there.
Over at Dai Due?
Yes.
Yeah. I love the job. I really, really do love
Right.
the job. And you get to do things there that you can't do at most restaurants inside Austin. And I mean, I think more people are getting involved with more like starting out farm to table, where you end up doing like the whole process instead of just buying and everything. And it really just boils down to my commute. 35 is killing me.
Okay.
I can't do it anymore. It's so stressful, and it adds so many hours to your day, just the commute. I'm like, I live up north in the tundra, so I need to work closer to home.
Sure. No,
So,
that's
it's
understandable. Yeah, bittersweet, I'm sure. You guys started as like, and how long have they been open?
About 5 years.
5 years. And so were you there since? No, you guys. So you started 2 years ago.
Started like a couple months after she moved in there.
The stage explains that. So when they first opened, did you guys ever have them on the radar? I mean, you guys are both into the butchery aspect of it.
I did.
Yeah.
I knew of them. I hadn't really checked them out or anything.
How did you?
And
guys,
I didn't know how awesome, like exactly what they were about.
Yeah.
Did you guys get in touch with the chef there, or know the chef, or?
I answered a poach dad, actually.
Okay.
That's how I got into it.
Nice.
Well, so about the time that they were building their brick and mortar,
Yeah.
I don't know if they building it, but they were like kind of putting it together, because I think it was like a political
Finishing out,
campaign
yeah.
office before it became a restaurant, something like that.
Interesting.
Like Barack Obama's headquarters or something like that.
That little spot on Maynard?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a Bernie Sanders headquarters for a while.
Yeah,
now
right
it's Special K.
Yeah, Planet K.
Planet K. Whatever. I obviously don't patron over there. I don't know what they sell.
It's like a special Kmart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember how I'd heard of Jesse Griffith. I think that about the time that I was ready to leave Bartlett's, I went to Texas A&M and did their Beef 101 course, which is like a 3-day seminar. And you see everything from the live cattle evaluation to the slaughter. If you want to, you can like step out of the room if you're not interested. And they do it right after lunch too, so that's kind of interesting. But you go in and then you see the entire process. You watch the inspector there kind of doing their thing. And then the next day you end up breaking it down with like a group of people. And that got me really interested in the butchery. And it was just something I was curious about. But after that I was like, oh.
Well, I'm
like
curious,
this.
what was it that drew you into it? Was it just utilizing the whole animal, or?
I think the skill required to do it was really interesting. And it was, I don't know how to do this. I want to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
So it was just, it's a very specific thing that not a lot of people know how to do. And I was like, this is crazy.
A lot
and
of
the
people
animal's
view it as
huge.
like magic. You start with the whole animal and then break it down to,
Yeah.
how'd you do that?
Yeah.
Right.
With a knife.
And that's kind of how I felt too. Like, this is amazing. I
Yeah.
want to know how to do this. And so it was more like a curiosity of like, man, I don't know anything about this. And I like learning from like the beginning of a process. I want to know how everything is done.
Sure.
And I think I'd started looking into people that do whole animal butchery, stuff like that. And I think Jesse Griffith's name popped up somewhere in that search. So I actually went and just met with him briefly prior to them having the brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
Just like a quick little meeting. And he was like, yeah, we're looking for people, but we're not opening for probably like another 3 months. And I was like, well, I gave notice already at my job. I got to find something. And that's how I ended up at Whole Foods, actually.
Oh, okay.
But he was always on that restaurant, Dai Due, was always on my radar because I'm like, oh, I really like what they're doing. And from what I could tell, they had a really strong, like, female base of people that worked for him. And I think some of the hunting schools that they did, I think for a while, I don't know that they do it anymore, but for a while they had all female hunting schools. Yeah. And I was like, that's awesome because, you know, it's a pretty male dominated field. And so I was interested in the fact that they were doing that.
Yeah, that's cool. That I mean, so I'm guessing, just go out on a limb here, that you've, being a female in the kitchen or in this industry, that you've just dealt with some kind of BS along the way.
Well, sure. I mean, I think that every person, male or female, in this industry deals with BS.
Sure.
I mean, it's
probably a little bit different now for people starting out, but
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
18 years ago there was still like the air of getting yelled at and demeaned and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Jesse's nothing like that.
No,
he's awesome to work with.
He's got to
very
be the
down to
most
earth.
soft-spoken chef that I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he still gets his point across and he gets the quality he wants out of everything. Pretty great.
Is the hunting, so there was classes going on?
Yeah,
And they were
we
doing
still do that.
They still do.
farmers market
Okay.
back then.
Yeah, so they did the supper club where they'd go to farms and they would cook and you can buy tickets, whatever. So they would like set up in the field, kind of like outstanding in the field.
Okay.
So they would do that, and then I think that their popularity grew during that, and they kind of had a following, and so eventually they got their brick and mortar. But yeah, I kind of like, oh man, I really want to go to Dai Due. I really want to try that place. And it was a while before I got over there.
Yeah, and when you there's a restaurant, and then the other half is more like a market, right?
Yeah, it's probably like 2/3 restaurant, 1/3 butcher shop. So we're a small butcher shop. We don't do a lot with beef. It's mostly pork, wild boar, venison.
Okay.
It's kind of our specialty. Wild boar is Jesse's jam for sure. So we try to utilize wild boar as much as humanly possible.
Save the world.
And do both of you hunt actively?
I'm actually not a hunter.
No.
I'd like to get into it, but that's never been
And you
something
never
like
have with like the class or partaken in that or anything?
No, because when you work in the shop, you don't really have time off to go do that.
Yeah.
You know, like to fill that position.
Sure.
And when you work them, you don't. You know, you're just cooking and cleaning, and not just. It's fun, but
Yeah.
you're not actually doing the hunting part of it.
So the 2/3, the market's like 2/3. What do you guys
No,
have?
the restaurant's like 2/3.
Restaurants. Okay.
Yeah, the
flip-flop.
butcher shop's a little bit smaller.
So tell me, what do you guys have in there? It's not just straight cuts of meat.
No, we got a lot of charcuterie. We do a bunch of, like cold cuts, roast beef, ham, beef jerky, bacon, and then we also have pork, chicken, and we do fresh sausages,
Nice.
smoked sausages, all that kind of stuff.
And are you guys, is that kitchen operating overnight, or is there always
No.
somebody there? You guys close up. Okay.
Yeah.
We close on Monday. The bakers come in a little bit earlier. They're the first ones in. So they come in, do all the fresh baked bread because we do everything in house. So they do all the bread, and then usually Musket opens.
Mm-hmm.
He's there. He sets the case, gets the prep started, and I do the later half of the day. So it's really just the two of us that are running the retail side of things.
Yeah.
So anything that is jarred or canned, or the majority of the things that are jarred or pickled or preserved or whatever that we're selling in the butcher shop is just stuff that we've put together. But yeah, we do charcuterie also. We do like venison salami koto, and we have some wild boar summer sausage, and we'll do like beerwurst or schinkenwurst, which is like a ham sausage. It's like a large format sausage. So stuff, like he said, for cold cuts.
Nice. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's a great spot. I mean, anybody who hasn't been over there should definitely go. Or do you guys like consider it like in competition with like Salt and Thyme or the...
Well, I refer people over there quite often because they do a lot more with beef. And,
Right.
And we also get referred from them if they don't have something.
Yes.
So I feel like we're close proximity, but I think we're two people or two ideas with the same goal, and we're using almost the same meat a lot of the times. We're just a little bit more local than they are.
Sure.
Or, you know what I mean? Like that's our absolute drive is only local.
Yeah.
But like we use the same peaceful pork, and I'm not sure if they use peeler or not, but they're much more of like a full service butcher shop,
Right.
with a smaller restaurant side.
But I like that you send people over there. They do the same for you, and I like
Yeah.
that's very.
I think it's more of a symbiotic relationship than a competition. So we're similar, but we have enough differences that I think people shop at both places for different reasons.
Yeah, I think this is a common theme in Austin, like Valentina's and Aaron Franklin. You know, they both are friends and they love each other's food. So
Yeah. I think you appreciate what people are doing when they're doing it well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's not some
Mutual
cutthroat,
respect.
kill the
Yeah,
guys
no,
down
not
the
at all.
street.
Right.
Not
and
at
they've been
all.
around, in Austin for over 10 years.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, what's happening? The east side there is very, very saturated with, and I guess in a good way, it's just very difficult to go kind of pick what you want to eat that day.
Yeah, right.
If you're gonna do it on the east side, there seems like there's something new popping up all the time.
yeah, all the time.
But Micklethwaite,
Micklethwaite?
is that the name of that? It's a trailer over there. They're also doing some meat butchery stuff over. You've not heard of it?
I haven't.
I've heard of them. I've never been there.
Oh, okay. You should definitely check that out. But I'm assuming after you are at Whole Foods, you're not going to be coming down on the east side
I'm
very
going
often.
to try not to come downtown.
Yeah.
I'm probably the least foodie restaurant worker that you've ever met because I don't go out to eat very often.
So you get done, you go home, and then that's
yeah, I'm a homebody, and I've got
Homebody.
like my go-to places, usually up north by where I live.
Well, I'm going to ask you about those.
Okay. Don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah, so I've got my go-to places that, I mean, my husband Austin and I will be like, hey, you want to go over to wherever? Because there will be like a dish or something that we're craving or like a specific cuisine. But
Sure.
other than that, not so much.
You mentioned your husband.
Mm-hmm.
This is new for you.
It is new. I've been married like 3 weeks? I don't know, something like that. Very recently.
I've never met your now husband,
Uh-huh.
but from what I see on social media or maybe what I've heard from you, he seems like the coolest guy in the world. Am I in the?
That's why I married him.
Right? He's into all kinds of. He's like a connoisseur of all things.
Oh,
right?
that's right. He made the knife that you
He
were
made
super
the
interested
knife.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
while we
kinds
were
of things.
dating, he totally surprised me. He'd been working on it for months. He made me a cleaver.
Yeah.
He'd never made a knife before, but
Maybe that's why I was like coolest guy ever.
of course, like, oh, you're appealing to something there. Yeah, he bought the metal, he cut it out, he ground it down for days. He ended up sending it to someplace in Pennsylvania to have it heat treated so it could do high impact. And he made this amazing cleaver for me.
Some serious.
It's heavy.
thought.
It's
I
it's like
appreciate all that.
2.5 pound cleaver.
Go right through the butcher block.
Yeah. I had a couple like, oh, moments where like, I chipped the table.
Yeah. You guys got married in Alaska.
We did. Yeah.
How cool.
We were trying to get out of Texas in the summertime, so we already had a vacation
Coldest
planned.
place known.
Yeah. Well,
And it was like 89 degrees while we were there.
Was it really?
When we first got there, they were having record high temperatures. So everyone there was
warming at
like,
its
we're not
finest.
used to this much sunshine. They're like, it's so hot. And we're like, oh, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But then, because we were
like
there
the
for 10
AC's on
days.
in here.
Yeah, nobody's got AC. Some people have AC, but it's not a common thing because, when you spend that much time in.
was that your
the cold.
first time out there?
Yeah, we'd never been there before. We've got a couple friends who, the guy's parents live up there in the summertime.
Nice.
And so they'd been trying to get them to come for years, and they were like, bring some friends. And so the 4 of us went up there and stayed. They have like an RV park or whatever. So we went and stayed there and then just kind of did day trips while we were there. So
Sure. What does he do for a living?
Austin?
Yeah.
He's a firefighter.
Firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Connoisseur of all things / firefighter.
Right.
Cool.
Just in case, got to save your life real fast.
Sure.
And you're not married, no?
No.
No. Do you, when he goes home, do you have to cook or anything? Or are you guys?
Well, I work nights. He actually does a decent amount of cooking for himself.
Nice.
But most of the time, it's like little
You keep it simple?
snacky meals. Yeah. We actually really like going to Whole Foods and we'll get like a bunch of different little pieces of cheese and we'll go get like all the accoutrements and like just have a picnic in our living room. That's kind of how we eat.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And what about you, Musket? You do any cooking at home or?
Oh yeah, we do lots of cooking at home. I live with quite a few people, and we've lived together for a really long time. And most of us are cooks, so we'll just throw down.
That's always good.
Yeah, like we also do the meat and cheese board thing. Like for when Anthony Bourdain passed, we went to Dai Due and spent I don't know $80 on nothing but charcuterie and everything, and just had this huge meat board for us to remember him by.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This this was going to be called the Austin Kitchen Confidential. And I figured I'd be dealing with some problems there.
Yeah, right.
Some copyright infringement issues.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely cool. Do you guys have to organize it? Because are they all cooking in like restaurant chefs and stuff?
Yeah, or used to, you know.
Yeah.
And
I know the schedules can be like all over the place when it's like that.
right. And for the longest time, because like she said, I opened the shop more often, and I have one buddy, Dylan, who works nights usually, but when we get together, it's just we cook, you know, like crazy.
Nice.
We do lots of different projects. We make cheeses and bake bread sometimes, and we'd do some ferments and all that kind of stuff, and just, you know, bounce ideas off each other and do weird things. And
Are you responsible for that bread at Dai Due at all?
no, that's the pastry side.
Okay, because I picked up some of that Hatch, the sourdough.
The sourdough?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not good for me because I ate it all in like 2 days.
It's a little spicy too.
It was very good.
Yeah, it's really good.
stuff. Alice is really great at what she does.
Oh yeah, amazing. I should have twisted your arm to bring some of that because I'm the same way. I don't want to go to the east side. It's not nearly the same kind of commute, but
Yeah. I thought about that on the way here. Like, man, I wish I'd gotten some like little charcuterie bits that we could have laid out. But
well, it would have been better if it were on video.
oh, okay.
But, yeah,
We'll have to.
we got
Settle for
banana nut
muffins.
muffins, right? HEB.
For the win.
Don't say that.
So I saw just recently, and I don't know like how long it's been on the menu. This wagyu burger that like won best.
It's been on the menu since
Yeah.
it opened, pretty much. But,
Yeah, we
So
just
is
got
that
that.
where's the meat sourced from? Is it from that farm that you mentioned?
yeah, Peeler Ranch.
Okay, well that's cool.
Yeah,
Right.
It's really
But, I
cool.
mean, to have the best burger. I mean, burgers. What is that? The best food in the world is a burger. So
Yeah,
to have the best in
really
Austin,
great.
yeah, it's a good accomplishment.
Yeah, they did it for a long time every Tuesday night, and then Jesse decided to put it on day and night.
Every day.
We just changed the format of it a little bit. Instead of one big patty, it's two smaller patties. But
Yeah, extra cheese that way.
yeah,
So Peeler, the ranch it's Texas. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
obviously you guys, everything you guys do is Texas. So tell me a little bit about the burger. I mean, I don't know what is on it. What is it? Just wagyu.
it's dry aged Wagyu chuck roll that we get, and we also use the trim off of our sirloins and ribeyes. And
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just mix in a little
So-
ribeye. Yeah.
so it's Wagyu and already fatty, but then we put 20% of our molasses cured bacon in. Then we season with salt and pepper and a little house made Worcestershire sauce, and then house baked semita bun,
Oh, okay, I was going to ask about
sauce special, diced onion and pickles.
what's it go for? The price tag? Do you know?
$20.
Yeah,
20?
20 comes with
Sounds like a good burger.
fried potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, everything's made from scratch. So bread is from scratch. We make the pickles, or we.
So this burger, you can make it real quick, but the whole process to actually get that burger there is what? Like, how long's
Well,
the
if you're
baking process?
if you're
For 30
counting the
days.
dry age,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's a process. So it seems really simple, but I mean, ultimately, it is a simple burger, but it's also really tasty, and all the time and the love that goes into making them.
It's one of the things I love about that menu is that it's real traditional and simplistic.
Yeah.
But everything, everybody's love has been poured into every single aspect of it.
Sure. I like that it's like real back to like the roots and not all kind of like fancy fusion.
Right.
Like the whole idea of just having like a market there too.
Yeah. And we have an area when you walk into the butcher shop side, which is the street side of the restaurant. We have a bunch of shelves, and we have the retail products on the shelves, but up on the kind of the higher shelves is our own stash of stuff that we've dried or pickled or salted or fermented or whatever. It's all stuff that we put away for when in the dark times. For the dark times
Like when the
we don't-
tomatoes go away, we have tomatoes.
exactly. We have jars and jars and jars of tomatoes. So it's if we don't preserve it somehow, we're not going to have it when it's out of season.
Right.
Because we're relying on the state of Texas to provide. So
Sure.
we got to do our part. So yeah, everything that we do. I was thinking about this the other day. It becomes so normal for us. I
Yeah.
think you just don't even realize.
Remember going back into another kitchen and just throwing everything away. What are you doing?
Well, there was one day because we get right now we've got elephant garlic. The garlic I think is the biggest thing that people notice seasonally inside the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because we've got the elephant garlic right now and it's amazing because you'll get an entire bulb and it weighs like an ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's so
I have
nice.
a picture on my Instagram of one that's the big as my palm that's 40 grams.
Oh,
But that's not all the time. And so
Yeah.
when you don't have garlic, if you haven't done something with it, when you don't have garlic, I remember going to HEB one day and I was like, oh, there's garlic. Because I'd almost forgotten that you can get garlic all the time. It
Yeah.
was just, we were so used to it, like, well, we don't have any.
like
Yeah.
locally sourcing.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
So this menu, you guys source everything. Does the menu change like seasonally or often or
Every day.
The night
Every
menu,
day.
yeah, the night
Yeah.
menu changes every single day.
every day?
Yeah. The lunch menu changes quite often. Definitely seasonally, but a little more often than that.
Right.
And it's just what we have and what we have, you know.
Is there
available.
anything, that's available like year round that's always there that people
The
love?
pastrami sandwich seems to be on there.
Yeah.
It's a
Classic.
staple.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm probably a little biased about it, but I think it's the best pastrami sandwich in town.
Yeah.
But we've got the sprouted rye bread that we do. We make our own Thousand Island. We make ketchup out of beets. So that-
I'm a fan of pastrami sandwiches. Have you
It's
been
killer.
over
We make
to-
our own sauerkraut. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had it, but you should come
No,
later.
I haven't.
It's really good.
And yeah, now I'm
delicious.
kicking myself because talking about it is.
Just half will fill you up. Well, me at least. I might take a couple bites of the other half, but I have to save it for later because it's so much food.
Yeah, if you finish it, you're, comatose for a minute.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's a good meal.
Yeah.
So have you gotten out with this pastrami sandwich to Easy Tiger at all and tried any of their pastrami?
I haven't made it over there.
No, you should. You should definitely.
I've been
do
to Easy
that.
Tiger. I haven't had their pastrami.
Yeah, please do. Because I'm curious. Because it's the best in town. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't on the east side right now. So, so that's cool though. So what's the process? How long does the pastrami take to make?
Well, we brine it for 4 days.
So there's another one. You're going to whip it together, and people don't realize that.
Right.
You're
Well,
already looking
Yeah, when you're out, you're out.
The sauerkraut takes a week to ferment.
week. Okay.
And the pastrami, we brine it 4 days, smoke it for like 6 hours, and then steam it for about 3.
Yeah.
It's a long process on that,
Heck
too.
yeah.
And then
Nice.
even with the bread, because it's a sprouted rye,
Yeah.
you got to soak the berries one day. You drain the berries, you let them sprout for one day, and then you eventually get around to actually making the bread. So it's
What
a
would-
multi-day process for that too.
So you've heard of the Ezekiel bread that you
Yeah,
can
the sprouted bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be the difference like buying that and like what you guys are doing there? Or is there a big difference? I'm sure there is.
Well, I feel like Ezekiel's in the freezer section.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, so there's the
There's
starter.
that.
Okay.
There's the fresh
if it's
bread
not
aspect.
in the freezer, it's going to be what, moldy or
Sure.
a week?
I mean, we don't use any preservatives in any baked products or anything. We use a little bit of Insecure on some of the sausages, but that's about it.
I've
Yeah.
had the Ezekiel bread before. It's a little harder. So
Yeah.
like the rye is still like a nice soft
Yeah.
bread that you can toast and it'll be crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside.
Yeah.
I think Ezekiel's a little firmer.
Sure. That and I mean, who knows why? Probably because it's sitting in a freezer until you thaw it out. I mean, I don't know. There's probably other reasons, but that sourdough was like a pillow. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's really great.
I think I had like 4 grilled cheeses and within like 48 hours, and that was it.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
all you need.
Yeah, it was very good.
It's hearty bread.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that you were at Whole Foods in the Mar, right?
Yes.
And you were a butcher there.
I was a butcher in the prepared foods department.
And so you've been a butcher or in the, restaurant industry for quite some time, and now you're going to go back to Whole Foods where you're not going to be, I guess, you're going to be in prepared foods.
Correct. So I took an assistant team lead position
Yeah.
for the prepared foods department, but Gateway, so
And
a lot smaller store. It's not the beast that Lamar is.
yeah. And Lamar's great, right?
Yeah.
But so how do you feel about that? Forget the commute. Like, how do you feel about getting out of like the kitchen kind of? I know it's prepared food still has a kitchen.
Yeah, and I think what I'm going to be kind of point over is the kitchen area.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with
That's
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because I know a lot of people don't like corporate places and they try to avoid it, but I thrive in that kind of setting. Like I like organization and systems and checklists and lists in general. Like I really get like kind of nerdy about that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Satisfying to wipe it up.
Yeah, exactly. We have a dry erase board that we use right now. And so it's something that I like writing production and I like kind of being a couple steps ahead of what's going on where I can see like a couple days down the line, okay, we're going to need to do this. And I don't know, like a little game of Tetris. Like I really enjoy that kind of thing, doing
Right.
schematics or something. Like I think that's something that I'm going to be involved in like the hot bar schematics of,
Sure.
what we're going to be doing in the coming months. So it will still satisfy a thing that I really enjoy, even if
Yeah.
I don't have the hands-on butchery stuff going on there.
All right. And and there's something to be said for like the corporate setting where a lot of times you're getting health insurance and you're getting time off and paid vacations. And a lot of times, and I don't know what it's like there, but when you're cooking, vacations are rare. I mean, they can happen during the summer and then days
Yeah,
off
exactly.
back
Right.
to back.
Yeah.
You guys slow down in the summer a little bit?
We haven't, as a general rule, yes, but we really haven't slowed down that much.
Yeah,
this summer.
We still get surprise busy days. I mean, we'll have days where we're like, man, this is really slow. But then the next day we're slammed. Like there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
It's slower than wintertime, but we're still keeping busy for sure.
Sure.
Keep thinking, oh, it's going to slow down. We got to slow down. But it never has.
Back off of production a little bit. Like, oh, okay, we're getting a little tight on bacon this week.
Yeah. A few times.
Yeah.
So are you ready to kind of step into her shoes there? And
We work together so well that we've been doing like shared responsibility a lot over the last year.
sure.
And she's about to, start showing me the things behind the scenes. But I think I'm ready for it.
He's ready.
I'm sure.
I don't know what I would do this last, it's been almost 2 years that I worked there almost 2 years, but I've been managing for almost that whole time also in the
Yeah.
butcher shop.
Yeah.
And he's my right-hand man for sure. Like, I don't know what I would have done without him. I probably would have pulled my hair out. I'd look more like him.
And and I don't have any hair to pull out, so it works.
So he's ready. I mean, there are days that maybe I don't write production because I know that he's coming in the morning and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Ugh, it's so nice. It's nice to know that you can rely on your coworker.
Yeah, no. And so I'm sure you're comfortable leaving it in his hands and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Aw, you're going to do such a good job.
yeah. You'll have to come back. So by the time this goes up, if you guys want to go over and visit, you're going to be talking with Musket.
Yeah.
Not Heather. You're going to have to go to Whole Foods and go order, I don't know, whatever. Go to the hot bar.
I'll be hiding in the back.
You'll be hiding in the back. No, that's cool though. So let me get to, you said when you get home, you have a few places that maybe you go to. Mm-hmm. And where are those?
So I really like Thai and Indian food, although I don't like spicy food, so that's a little weird.
Interesting.
But there's a place that's close to me. It's like 620 in Parmer called Superbot. It's actually a vegetarian Indian restaurant
Okay.
that I really like to go to. I know. I'm like, oh, I love this vegetarian
Superbot.
restaurant. Superbot. And
Interesting name.
I'm rarely, when Austin and I go, we're most of the time the only white people there. That's for sure. Like,
Is it in like
That's
a
how you
strip
know it's
mall
good.
or?
there are a couple other businesses there. I think there's an Indian market
Okay.
right next to it, and maybe like a coffee shop. But it's just a tiny little section, and it's just really, really yummy Indian food. I went in one day by myself, and I was like, I'm just gonna order a bunch of stuff that I don't know what it is. So I just like went in by myself and ordered a bunch of different things. And I was like, everything here is good.
That's good. That's a good spot. So super bot.
And then one of our other favorites is the Rotten Bunch, which of course I worked at. So
Right, yeah.
I know the menu, but they do a fresh pulled mozzarella there. So it's still like warm and melty when it shows up at the table. And they serve it with some of their pesto. And that's killer. So we'll go just like, let's just go get some mozzarella. It's so good.
How did you like the Rotten Bunch?
I liked it a lot. So it's actually my brother's restaurant. And that's the reason why I left Whole Foods, because he was about to open this place and he said, please come work for me. Maybe he didn't sound like he was begging so much. I would.
Your brother's owner or chef?
Yes.
Chef.
Yes, all of the above.
Oh, then I've met
Eric
him.
Williams,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I've run into him over there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he's like, I'm opening this restaurant. I really want someone to run the kitchen that I don't need to worry about it, basically, because he was going to be managing the whole thing. So he wasn't going to be in the kitchen as much, and he wanted to be able to kind of step out of it and not worry about it. So I helped him open that. So we were doing training there while they were like doing construction still in the front part of the restaurant.
Yeah.
But I was there for about 2 years, and I was like, okay, you've hit your stride. Well, maybe not hit your stride, but you've got this figured out. I'm going to go back to butchering now.
Yeah. Well, now I have to ask: did you and your brother like ever do anything growing up, like cooking wise, or?
Well, we're 9 years apart. He left he moved to New Orleans when I was like 9 years old. So
I'm assuming he cooked there.
He actually started working on an oil rig offshore.
Oh, okay.
And I think he started out cleaning toilets, and I think he was just kind of like doing
Steward.
He was just there to work. I mean, I don't think he had any kind of specific interests. It was a job, and
sure.
He found his way to the kitchen there. And if you have him on the podcast, he can answer these questions for you. But he started cooking there, and I remember him telling me a story about making cookies and putting pink frosting on them just to just so he could put them like in the break room, because like all the guys that are working on the oil rig are like really tough, and they're like, I'm not going to eat these cookies because they have pink frosting. But he's like, as soon as they were left in the break room and nobody was looking, those cookies were gone so fast. So he used to do stuff like that just to mess with them. But he and I were actually going to culinary school, I think around the same time, but he was doing it here at Texas Culinary Academy.
Okay.
And I was up in New York at CIA. So
the real one.
Well, the original.
Are you guys close? Were you guys like talking on about your experiences and school and everything? Or?
Yeah, he actually worked at Houston's / Bartlett's, and that was how I found out about the management position here, and that's why I moved here from California. Okay. So I worked with him for about 6.5 years there at that restaurant.
Did you guys get along? I mean, working together and everything? That was all good?
Yeah, I think 6.5 years was maybe too long.
Sure.
Working with my brother.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, and I think that we handled it pretty well for siblings to be able to work side by side.
Right.
And I mean, I went back to work with him again. So.
Right, yeah.
Didn't gouge your eyes out.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to him over the Rotten Bunch. I only hear good stuff about
Yeah, they're doing really well. It's
Cedar Park?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
It's almost Cedar Park.
Oh, okay.
So it's like right along the border, but it's Parma Lane and Avery Ranch Boulevard.
Right.
It used to be a Waterloo ice house.
Oh, yeah.
So when he got a hold of it, there were like canoes in the ceiling and stuff. So they totally overhauled the inside, and now it's a wine bar.
Yeah.
Alligator wearing sunglasses.
And they're dinner, right? Dinner and a lunch and dinner.
Primarily dinner. They do brunch on Saturday and Sunday.
Cool. Okay, so the Rotten Bunch, especially family, go support them.
Yeah, sure.
Anywhere
and
else.
It's good. Yeah. But I mean, if it wasn't good and it was family, I probably wouldn't go. Like, I'm not going to support you. It's not that good. But no, it's really good.
You want to know my true opinion?
Any other spots out there that you go to?
It's really simple, but I go to Cafe Java a lot.
Okay.
Because if I want just like diner food, it's hot and it's fast.
That's right by that, right?
It's like metric.
Oh, okay.
Around, you don't even know it. It's in the metric area, like Lamplight Village kind of area. But it's just old reliable, that kind of thing. Like, I just want to go get like hash browns and eggs or biscuits and gravy.
Reliable, yeah.
Yeah. They probably don't even, I think they probably get like some stuff from Cisco or something, but
Sure.
but I go in, and like I said, I think in this industry too, if you work in it in any kind of length of time, if food comes out like lukewarm, you're like, for me at least,
Yeah.
I am obsessed with like food needs to be hot when it shows up on my table. If it's supposed to be hot, it should be hot.
Yeah, you're kind of touching on something that we talked like about this podcast has only been going for about 4 months, but like during those first episodes, we were asking, when food comes out, are you like real hypercritical of it? And most people were just like, of course. So I was like,
Yeah.
we kind of I was like, all right, forget that question because everybody is. But if it comes out,
Temperature is a big thing for me. So if I know I can consistently go to a place and the food comes out hot,
So you get that at Cafe Java.
But
Yeah.
also, I mean, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're sitting down at Uchi and something comes out wrong, you're going to be like, oh, that's not right.
So do you ever send stuff back or complain? I guess complain might be the wrong choice of words. Maybe just be like, hey, this is not hot. Take it back.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm real passive.
yeah.
Do you?
No, I just may not ever go there again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
yeah.
Like, I don't
Okay.
even put salt on unsalted food at the table because I don't like iodized salt, like raw
Oh, yeah.
flavor iodized salt.
Right.
But also, I know that people back there either don't care or trying their best.
Sure.
It's not really a middle ground.
That's my approach. Unless it's really like I had poached egg. I went out for what was it? Just brunch, and I got a Benedict's, and they were like totally overcooked, and that was like, and I felt bad saying something, but I was like, I don't ever get brunch. Just
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they came back, they were still overcooked, and I was like, it's fine.
I have a hard time getting poached eggs anywhere. I'm like, okay, they're probably going to screw it up.
Yeah, for the most
So I'm
part, I
gonna
don't
skip
order
it.
steaks anywhere because I know how to cook them.
Yeah.
I'll buy a steak and cook it at home exactly the way I want.
That's the problem, because the poached egg thing, you're like, well, I can do this. I'll do it right. It'll be nice and hot.
Yeah.
Same
And
with
I
the
won't
steak.
be angry that I spent the money.
Right. Why would you have somebody else prepare a steak if you know how to do it the way you like it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So-
we do score pretty good meat
Yeah.
from the restaurant. So I will
Okay.
I'll take pork chops home or something like that
Sure,
and be like,
sure.
"Oh, okay.
And to that end, I mean, if you get it at Dai Due, they cook it perfectly every time.
Nice.
I haven't had any issue with that.
Yeah, no. I'm
Plus, you've
assuming.
got everything cooked over fire there.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to duplicate that flavor.
So cool, yeah. So I'm assuming that you don't live anywhere. You live somewhere on the east side?
No, I live around like 44th and Burnett.
Okay. But
So pretty central.
Why don't you just tell us your address?
yeah,
That's pretty much it.
we'll find you. And what about you? Any spots you go?
I don't do a whole lot of eating out, but because like I said, we do a lot of cooking at the house. But El Caribe is my favorite Tex-Mex place in the city.
Cool.
It's a tiny little, not exactly a hole in the wall, but it's just over there by like Koenig and Lamar.
Yeah.
And there's one lady who runs the front tables, and it's just her and the entire restaurant. And she can just turn tables and run, and she can be curt, and she's kicked people out that I haven't heard of before in the past, but she loves us. We come in there and it's just, showered with adoration, and she can tell we are all in the industry. We stagger plates, everything is ready to go, and
That's why she loves you.
yeah.
She's like, I'm the only one working out here. I can take all the help I can get.
We order drinks at the same time. Like, even if somebody has half a margarita left, if everybody else needs one, you order that person another one.
Sure. Yeah.
Expedite her situation. But yeah, the food's great every time. Except if you don't like spicy, don't get the spinach and mushroom enchiladas.
Okay.
Like,
Heather,
you
take note.
yeah, you want a gringo dinner? Here's the spiciest thing on our menu.
I'm a
Hard
fan
pass.
of spicy. So.
Hard pass.
And they also have a salsa bar that has Carolina Reaper salsas and Ghost Cherry
Wow.
salsas.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's some serious talk. Oh, man.
I'm not that into spicy, but a little bit is awesome. But that's
Sure.
insane.
Anywhere else? So have you ever been to the Peach Tortilla on Burnett there?
I have not actually made it there because of the parking is so tiny.
Yeah, it's weird.
I tried to go there one day and we couldn't find any parking.
Well, yeah. It's in the back lot. Yeah, it's pretty tiny.
Yeah, I ended up almost parking at I guess they closed down, but it was a cupcake shop right there.
Okay.
But everything said, "We will tow you." So I didn't.
Yeah.
I believed them.
Yeah, I think You should check that out though if you get an opportunity to.
They come up a lot on this podcast.
They do.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do, but for good reason.
I feel I've heard that name kicked around a lot. I've never been over there.
We go to Pine House Pizza a lot. That's right there.
Yeah.
We go to Pacha Cafe for brunch and coffee and stuff.
Pint House, they got a good beer selection, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I like to get the stuff that they make, though.
The
In-house brewed stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What do you guys do at Dai Due? Any like local beers or anything?
Yeah.
Totally local.
All Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything's local. Austin or just Texas general?
Texas in general. We do beer and wine.
Any good favorites, go-tos?
We're not usually drinking while we're there.
Right.
Well, why not?
They get it. We do get the shift drink.
Yeah.
They've got, oh man, for beer, I feel like it's a rotating selection all the
constantly
time.
Changes.
And the places
great.
that I notice more than anything, I'm not really much of a beer drinker, but I know the places that are up near me, up north, where it's like Red Horn that brews their own stuff and Whitestone Brewery.
Right.
But again, not much of a beer drinker, so I'm not terribly helpful.
We've had
on this.
that electric
Jellyfish.
on for a few times.
Do you guys do any kind of like collaborations with other restaurants or, even with beers or anything?
They were doing. I mean, I'm not on the bar side, so this is kind of hearsay for me.
Yeah.
But we definitely have had a few beers that our former bar manager collaborated with local breweries to just have something for Dai Due.
Nice.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I think Austin Beer Works did something like that.
Yeah, Austin Beer Works is awesome, right?
Yeah, I like their beer a lot.
We've paired up with, and this might be a little bit before my time, but we've paired up with at least one brewery where we made sausages that were supposed to complement the beer.
We made some sausages. It was supposed to be for going to make some bourbon with it.
Okay.
I forget where.
And there was, I think we worked with Blue Owl for our wing dinner.
Wing ding ding.
Which we actually, I think they're about to release the email if they haven't already. We're about to do the wing dinner again, where it's like, what is it, a festival of propelling appendages or something like that. But we pair up with some local beer and then do like duck wings, chicken wings, frog legs, and
Turkey wings.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's cool. And next door to there, to kind of shift topics a little bit, is it announced that Chef Nick
Patrizzi's?
Is it?
I mean, it's posted on the door that Patrizzi's is taking over.
Oh, it is? Nice.
Yeah, because Unit D closed down.
Unit D closed down.
Unit D closed down, and then they put a sign up that said that Patrizzi's was going to be taking over. And I haven't seen a ton of movement over there, although when I close at the end of the night, a lot of times I go by and the lights will be on, and I can see that they're moving some stuff around in there.
Yeah, I went and talked to him real quick.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy, right?
He's a super cool guy. He comes in all the time. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought I read something. So it must have been announced somewhere, but it's not exactly what Patrizzi's is doing already. It's going to be a different concept. Is that?
I overheard something like that too.
Yeah.
It's maybe more a bar scenario-ish.
Okay. Which would be a good fit, right? Because it is more like a bar setup there.
And there's the Haymaker there, but they close down by midnight usually. Mm-hmm. So I think he's trying to get a late night license or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Do you guys, is there plans to expand this? I know you guys are in the fairgrounds,
Yeah,
right?
we've got the taqueria over there.
Okay. So that's a little different, or
Yeah, that's the whole scenario over there is different. It's like a quick order lunch place, pretty much.
do you guys work out of is there a commissary area?
There's a shared commissary kitchen and a shared walk-in, and then there's a smaller kitchen area for hot pickups.
Okay.
But they're working under the same kind of ideals that we do, where it's scratch everything, and they nixtamalize their own corn for their corn tortillas. They're the best corn tortillas I've ever had. We actually we'll buy them from them. We kind of flip flop. We send them bacon and they send us tortillas.
That's cool.
Yeah. So tortillas are so good. But so they do everything from scratch.
And they
so
do only feral pig too. There's no domestic hog anywhere on their menu.
Okay.
And chicken and venison too.
So everything at both locations right now is 100% from scratch. Everything's sourced locally, and that's like the niche, right?
Yeah.
It's like what you guys focus
We
on.
we open one can in that entire restaurant, and it's Steen's pure cane syrup. And I know that comes from Louisiana, but
What is it, within 100 miles?
yeah, something like that.
So it's acceptable.
But
I mean, we use
It's
black pepper.
yeah, right.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We use black pepper.
Okay.
I don't know anywhere that's growing that locally.
Yeah, but we do everything humanly possible to be as close as possible. But one of the things I love telling people is that we have one kind of janky handheld can opener, and it's been there since before I started there, and it still works.
It's probably nicer, or it's probably not as nice as what you would have at your house.
Yeah, right. Like,
Just because we don't need it to open cans.
yeah.
Not really.
I mean, I worked at places that have the giant
The industrial.
table mounted,
Yeah.
slam it down, and we can't even keep that working as well. And this has been there for over 2 years at least.
So this kind of like scratch cooking. I mean, you guys are both in the industry anyway, but when you go home, is that something that you've started to like implement in your own pantry or kitchens?
Yeah, I've started doing like a little bit of sauerkraut by myself.
Where you weren't before, it's just
Right.
kind of like, let me
Yeah.
start doing this at home. And you too?
Yeah, we've done sauerkraut. We make our own mustard sometimes at home. I just made, my father-in-law has a fig tree. And I think the very first time I ever went over there, I was like, oh, you have figs. And so ever since then, he always like offloads a bunch of figs for me because he doesn't really eat them, which I think is crazy because they're really tiny, but they're so sweet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was like
they're really
handing them
nice.
out at work the other day because he
Yeah.
dropped them off at the restaurant for me to have. I made a giant batch of fig mostarda.
Nice.
So I actually took some of the Bavarian mustard from work and added it to the fig jam that I made out of it. So I like kind of jarred it up, and I'm gonna give some back because I want him to try them. Like, your figs are delicious. You should really like eat this.
Who is that has the tree?
Oh, my father-in-law.
Oh, okay. He's here?
Yeah, in South Austin. He's like around the Bee Caves area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See if he'll eat it.
Yeah, we'll see. He might be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. But yeah, we
Making
played
our own
around.
yogurts and cheeses and stuff.
Yeah. I think we're
Actually-
at home. We're a little more adventurous, at least.
Yeah, I actually did some research and then found out how to make cream cheese and brought that to the restaurant.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
we have cream cheese available for.
And how do you make cream cheese in a nutshell?
We take our house-made yogurt and then you salt it and you press it for a few days, and it extracts all the whey that's stuck in the yogurt, and then the aging just gives it that tang.
Interesting.
And then Alice made cheesecake out of it.
Yeah.
And it's another thing where it seems like a simple thing where you have cheesecake with like a little bit of like some macerated fruit
Yeah.
or of some kind, whatever. But it's okay. Well, the yogurt took
It's 3 days.
3 days to make, and then to press it, salt
It's
and press it
another
to make
3 days.
cream cheese. Yeah. So it's like a lot of work goes into these really, really simple dishes,
Mm-hmm.
but they're so tasty.
Cheesecake is delicious. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Is that always there? When you
No,
So it's like a seasonal.
it's the rotating.
or whenever?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the rotating menu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to try that. There's a couple things: the pastrami, the wagyu burger,
Yeah.
cheesecake. I'm sure I won't be able to do that in one sitting. But
People try. Believe
Yeah.
me, they try.
Yeah.
We've got a couple cool things on the menu. We've got a 3-pound beef rib.
Yeah.
Usually ends up being a little bit more than that, but 3-pound beef rib that people most of the time will share it.
Yeah.
But it's this massive plate with a beef rib and all kinds of goodies on top, cortito and kimchi
Yeah.
and stuff again that we make in the restaurant.
nice.
But people all the time when food gets delivered. I mean, it's a really open kitchen, so if you've never been there, like you can see everything that's going on except for
Yeah.
dishwashing. I mean, it's all happening in the front. And so you hear people like, "Whoa!" I've heard there's like one kind of kitchen, like a kitchen table kind of. It's one little private table that's off to the side,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
closest to the butcher shop, like right when you walk in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can hear them talking the whole time that you're there working. And I've heard
Especially
people
when you're cutting an animal.
yeah, if you bring an animal out on the meat rail, then everyone kind of stops what they're doing, gets up and takes photos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, it's almost like an attraction. It's so simple what you guys are doing, and it's so something that's kind of like, it's been done before. I mean, that's how people, you know,
Yeah, that's how everything started to be
that's how it
done.
was.
Yeah.
you
We're
know,
just going back to that, which I love that so much. It just speaks to me.
But it literally is an attraction where people stop and take photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's that little booth right when you're
When you
talking.
first come in, yeah. And I'll hear people when the food shows up, they'll say like, I don't usually take pictures of food, but don't eat this because I need to take a photo of it first because it's like the food. It's big. It's like Texas big.
Yeah.
A lot of people share.
The menu prices seem a little expensive for some people, but when you get the portions, that's worth every penny. Plus everything that went into it.
Right.
And we pay top dollar for everything we get.
Yeah, yeah. And there is I guess, is there a front or a back? Because when you come in off the street, to me, that's the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, to us it's the front door too because we walk in the front of the restaurant.
But
Butcher
then
shop,
both
the street
sides
side.
are cool enough. Like if
Yeah.
you walk in the other side, it's still
Yeah,
If
there's
you,
parking.
if you go
in
on
the
the
back.
other side,
you'll get seated if you do that.
yeah. And you don't have to talk to us, but then you don't get to talk to us.
Well, right. And so people come in and they might park in the back and they might sit there and eat. People should know to go check out the
They
stuff you
do.
guys
Yeah,
have.
They do all the
Servers
time.
let them know, and we also get
good.
people picking up stuff for their breakfast on
Sure.
the way out the door.
Yeah. Like, oh, we need bacon. We need some venison breakfast sausage. Just all the goodies for the next day.
Oh, absolutely. It's all looks so good. That sourdough was. I was still thinking about it.
Obviously.
Yeah, they made good grilled cheeses. Believe me.
I bet.
And you don't like the spicy. It wasn't too bad.
I like that bread though.
It's very good. Very
Yeah.
good. So cool. So does the restaurant associate with any kind of like charities or anything like that?
You know, we feel like we do a lot of that, but
Not sure
I'm not the
names.
person to talk to about that.
Jesse does a lot of stuff off site.
Yeah.
He works in collaboration with a lot of different
Like he's
groups
about
or
to
events.
be with Intero.
Right.
They're doing something.
Right.
Yeah. So he does a lot of that stuff where he's kind of, out there and kind of more of the public figure of the restaurant because he's overseeing both places. So he's kind of bouncing around back and forth.
Yeah.
But he also does the hunting school and he's a busy guy.
Yeah, he's always got something.
I was going to
on.
ask how's he do with all that? Is he good with being everywhere? Is he or does he like being there?
I feel like by the time that he opened the taqueria, he kind of had to back away from the Dai Due thing, and he put it in great hands with Janie. He gave her the executive chef, or promoted her to the executive chef, and she's been doing great. I think he's doing great with it.
Good.
He's always busy. He's always got stuff to do, and he'll answer any questions you got, even though he's out somewhere. If he has service, he'll get your text and
Yeah.
he'll answer you.
Yeah.
If he has service, because he's hunting a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, he usually has his phone on him, so if you need to shoot him a text to ask him a question, he's really good and responsive, and he's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he knows what he's doing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I give him a lot of shit because he tells a lot of dad jokes, but he knows what he's doing.
Not a
so.
fan of dad jokes.
Well, I like dad jokes, but I'm still
there's
going to
too
give him
many, it's
shit for
overkill.
it. Yeah.
I got you.
Janie, like he said, is the
Yeah.
executive chef, and that woman works so hard to keep that place running
Yeah.
and changing the menu every night. And she just puts out such good food, and all the crew that's there, like everybody's really passionate about what they're doing.
Sure. You said when the taqueria opened, he promoted her to executive chef. When was that? What, a year? 2 years? At least, no, it's probably 2 years.
Maybe
right?
about a year ago.
About a
About a
year
year?
ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was kind of the acting executive chef for a while
But
because
then
he
made
was
With the
gone.
title of chef de cuisine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, same thing, right? Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, she was definitely doing the job
Yeah.
before she got promoted to it.
But she's definitely sailing the ship, and she's got the good vibe going on there. I mean, like you said, it's a good, female friendly.
Yeah,
everything.
actually, the tides are kind of changing and we're getting a lot more male people coming in now that we've kind of turned over a few positions. But when I started working there, and for the bulk of the time that I've been there, it was the most female dense kitchen population of any restaurant I've ever worked in. Cool. And that was really interesting, where there were maybe like one or two guys, like, what? This is such a weird dynamic. And I would say it's probably the most collaborative kitchen I've ever worked in too, where
As
it's
far
really the
as-
best idea wins out.
Okay.
Not like nobody gets their feelings hurt if you're like, you know what we could do?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a great idea. And so I feel like the food just gets elevated all the time because people have ideas and they bring them to the table.
Yeah, that's very cool. And
It's really cool.
it is cool, especially knowing that how it's all open and you guys are all just kind of working together. And
Yeah.
that's anybody on the line there and just
Yeah.
everybody, right?
Right.
We're like elbow to elbow some days.
Yeah.
You get like the morning crews kind of finishing their stuff and then the night crews coming in. And again, what you see is the space that we have. And so everyone's like really working next to each other. So
Nice.
you gotta be nice.
That's why we get the carcasses out of the way early.
Yeah. Like, hold on. I got a big 190-pound deer I need to wheel down the line.
How long does something like that take?
Oh, we don't usually do it all at once.
Well, for the deer.
For the deer, yeah. We'll kind of cut off some of that as we need it. It's a pretty decent undertaking, but like we break the pigs down on Wednesday morning. Well, primarily Musket breaks the pigs down on Wednesday morning.
Before you guys are open or while you're open?
No,
I do it while we were open just to kind of add to the
appeal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to knock that out while people don't see it.
Right.
Most of the time, people are interested in seeing that.
Well, sure, right?
Yeah.
And breaking down anything, people always come by and like, what you cutting up?
Yeah, right.
It's a pig old pig.
So,
he's going out and hunting. He's bringing that back. You guys are
No, we're not allowed to touch hunted stuff.
ever.
No, because that you'd have to get a different license for that. Everything has to be processed in a USDA facility.
Okay.
So if someone's like pulling a deer out of the back of their pickup truck, like take this, like we can't do that.
So, can that work like for like something at at home or something with you
Well,
know?
home is fine. Their idea is not to let it get into the food stream,
Yes.
so you can poison yourself all day long.
Right. Yeah.
They don't care about that. And also, it's not necessarily a USDA inspection; it's a Texas inspection because it doesn't cross state lines.
So how's that work with? Does Janie go hunting?
No, she is way too busy to leave that restaurant. No.
I'm just curious when he does like the hunting and then, you guys butcher that and eat that, right? I mean, well, he does.
He does.
So
So
they do
class.
that on site.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
so the classes that they do, they're like 2-3 day classes.
3 days. I think.
And they have a group of people that go. They have
Like out camping, or is it like?
there's like some kind of facility. So there's different ranches that we collaborate with that will go onto the property. I say we, like
But
I'm
for
out there
3
doing
days.
it too. Yeah. So
Oh, that's neat.
they'll go out. They'll do the hunting. Jesse will show them how to process, how to break down, and then they feed them. So they'll make them lunch. They'll make them dinner. They'll make them breakfast. Over the course of that time, and then
And they'll make sausages out of their kill and everything.
yeah, and so then the stuff that people shoot, because you got to bring a gun, the stuff that people shoot, they take home with them. So we'll do stuff inside the restaurant where we'll make sausages or like spice kits or something for them to take with them,
Oh, okay.
so that they're kind of making that stuff on site. But people get to take their hunted stuff home with them.
So these people these are not necessarily like culinary students. These are just anybody can sign up for that.
Yeah. So if you sign up for the email, you can go to the website, sign up for the email, and we send out a schedule of hunting schools. They also do fishing schools, and also hog butchery classes. So you can go into the restaurant on a Monday when we're closed and watch Jesse break down 3 hogs of varying sizes. He'll make sausage out of them, and kind of talk
And it's
you
really
through it.
based more for hunters that want to know what to do with feral pig.
Okay. Like they don't have the chops or the skills to actually break it down.
Right. A lot of hunters will, especially with the pigs, they'll just shoot them and then pull the loin out and then leave them there,
Which you're not supposed to do. But, I mean, you can take your deer to a processing facility and you just get, some sausage, some...
Does Hudson Meats?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
where most people would just go to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you get those guys that go on those classes and then they are always like they become, patrons of the restaurant?
Yeah, we do. We
I'm
get
sure,
people that are
right?
like, oh, I went to the hunting school. And I'm like, that's amazing. I would
Yeah.
love to go do that.
Yeah. And then I'm sure do you make more spice kits for people like that who like enjoyed that?
No,
I
but
haven't really done much of that.
sometimes we'll sell them fatback.
Yeah.
If they come in and they're like, I'm going to start making sausage out of my stuff,
And
then people
hog
will-
casings and everything.
Yeah. So we'll sell like the parts so that they can do it at home.
Yeah. I mean, that's, it's crazy there's so much that goes into it. Like you were saying, you when you see it for the first time and you don't know, and then you've got somebody out there hunting who, I mean, you end up wasting if you don't know what you're doing. But
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. How long does it take you to learn how to do something like break down a hog or something?
Well, that's a case by case.
Yeah.
Some people don't pick it up quite as
Right.
quickly.
I mean, but there is absolutely no way that you can say without anybody teaching you that, oh, I'll get this. Like, there's so many like little intricate things that need to be done in a certain way, in a certain order. I mean, you could start tearing things apart.
Right.
Sure.
You'll end up with different muscles. It's just the way you cut them.
Like, there's a
Not gonna
proper
cook
way
it
to
right.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's 100 different ways to break down a pig.
Right.
You can do all different sorts of things with it. And we do it a specific way. Other people, like we do long bone chops for the restaurant. A lot of people cut those bones off to have spare ribs, and it's just, that's a tiny difference, but
Yeah, it depends on what your end goal is.
Right.
Like, what are you trying to make? And that depends. That'll determine what you're going to end up doing with the animal. So there's a bunch of different ways to process,
yeah.
but it just depends on what you want out of it.
And if you don't know what you're doing and you want T-bones, but you pulled the tenderloin out, you're never going to get a T-bone.
Yeah, you're going to get a strip steak or a pork loin.
Right.
And
With
a
a
tenderloin.
T-bone on it without anything on the
Yeah.
other side.
Well, it's valuable. It's valuable for people to be able to go do that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty popular, right?
Oh, yeah.
we
They
never had a
sell out
problem
all the
selling
time.
them. Yeah.
Is it year round?
Well, I
sorta.
think we're trying to do one about like once a month lately.
Okay.
It's definitely seasonal, though. I mean, during hunting season, obviously it picks up a little bit because you can take people out and they'll get whitetail.
Right.
And they can do that outside of the restaurant because it's for personal
Jesse
consumption.
also does a venison butchery class like the first weekend in November or last weekend in October, right before deer season starts. And that always fills up real fast.
Yeah.
Nice. Does he have family? Like children and stuff?
He's got a daughter. Yeah.
Another daughter?
Paloma. She comes into the
Paloma?
restaurant. She
Oh,
likes
yeah.
to help out the pastry people.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do? We have some pineapple guava that grows out back, so she'll go and like pick the pineapple guava.
Yeah, and they go on bike rides, and she'll bring in foraged fruits and stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
How old is she?
Like 7 or 8 now. I don't know exactly.
9, maybe.
Really?
We neither one of us have kids, so we're like,
I remember hearing 7 once. That was I don't know when that was.
But he
How
posts
cool.
pictures on Instagram of her like she got her own wild boar recently, and you can see her like dragging a wild boar around. Like
How
she
cool,
goes
right?
out
Yeah, that's-
and hunts, and
Gigged her first flounder the other month.
Oh, yeah?
yeah, that little girl's gonna have some
I was going to
stories
say,
when she grows
she's going to
up.
have some stories. Who knows what she'll be doing? When
Yeah.
She'll have some serious skills.
Yeah.
Or go down a totally different path.
Yeah, exactly. She's gonna be a
Right.
surgeon.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been butchering all my life.
That's right. You trust that one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I ever want to get cut open for anything serious.
Well, nobody ever wants to
no,
get cut open.
no. But I guess if it's going to be anybody, have it be the girl who's been, killing hogs since she was 7.
Yeah. Exactly.
Emphasis on more the butchering part than the killing part.
True. I guess you don't use killing when you're going into surgery.
Sure, I think I'd
They
have a
don't
hard
call
time
it
with
the
that.
killing floor, I don't think.
Yeah, see, Austin hunts, and he didn't hunt really before we met. I think he hunted with his
I
grand.
had a feeling.
Yeah,
I don't
he-
know.
Well, he honestly, when we started dating, and I asked him, "Do you ever do it?" He said, "Well, I did it with my grandfather, but I never really liked all the gross stuff that you had to do after."
Yeah.
And so I was like, if you go hunt it, I'll do all the work.
Yeah,
So
'cause-
he's like, okay.
Well, I guess it's important to point out when you go hunting, like you have to like track an animal or whatever you're going to do. You kill it. There's that word again. But that's not the end.
No.
It's like almost where it begins.
Yeah, the work has just begun.
Right.
Unless you're a trophy hunter. I'm not into that.
No, yeah, and that's not even. Well, yeah, would we even call that hunting? I don't know.
right.
That's just inhumane.
But it's great because he'll get up early and I'll stay in bed. And he'll just call me like, I'm coming back to the house. And he'll have a deer and he does the hunting and then he'll help me like hang it up in a tree or something. And then,
So do you guys like
He
freeze it?
yeah, so I'll break it all down. I'll make sausage out of it.
Cool.
Make jerky out of it.
Give it away to people? I'm
No.
sure. No, really?
Not really.
Gotta stock that freezer.
Yeah, I'll cube some for stew. I have a very organized system, of course, for where everything is.
Right.
I've got breakfast sausage and just ground venison or wild boar, depending on what we get.
Makes the grocery bill a little bit cheaper. Right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
So-
definitely. So he's picked up the hunting.
He's picked up the hunting, and I gladly take the rest of it. And
You need to go get him for his birthday or something and get him on one of those 3-day courses.
I think he'd like it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure,
so-
right? I mean, who wouldn't?
I mean, I would
think
probably
both you guys.
I
should,
probably
hell.
would like it more than he would like it. He'd be
Right.
like, whatever, this is fine. I'd rather stay in bed.
I mean, it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not telling anybody how to run the place, but I think everybody who works there should be able to go do that. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But,
Well, like
you
I
know,
said, it's hard to get 3
staffing
days
issues,
off all the time.
Oh yeah.
common theme in
Do
restaurants.
you guys? Yeah, common theme. Do you guys run into that? I mean, like
Yeah.
you guys are smaller. I don't mean. I think smaller is the wrong word. You're a regular sized restaurant, but it seems like you got a tight group of people. I
We
mean, I
do,
would be
yeah.
We're
assuming.
running pretty skeleton crew
Yeah.
for a while
But
now.
are people rotating like we see this everywhere? Is it
Yes.
constant
I
revolving
think
door?
it's everywhere you go.
Yeah. There's revolving door, but there's it's like it's not that revolving, but there's specific positions that
Yeah.
turn over a lot faster.
And those
then
are
you got-
more like line cook or
Yeah.
prep or something.
Yeah.
And then they see the next line cook for $1 more or whatever it is.
Right. And it usually takes a bit more than that, but it's because we still have a core group of people that have been there for you
Yeah.
know, as long as I have at least.
Yeah.
And like Janie's been there almost the whole time.
Almost 5 years, yeah. She started out as a prep cook,
And it worked her way up.
and now she's running the show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a bummer. That I mean, it's like the perfect fit for you and your what you like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told her, if you guys open a location up north,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
no talk for like expansion.
I think they've got enough on their plate right now. I don't know.
They're growing the brand for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're talking about that.
Sure.
Jesse is
That's for
working on
upper
another
management.
cookbook.
Yeah.
So
That should be coming out not
yeah.
too long, actually.
he's got A Field, which is a James Beard nominated cookbook that he did. It's really nice. We sell it in the butcher shop.
Okay.
Really great photos, really great recipes. But I know he's compiling recipes and taking photos and stuff and
And
putting
the
a
second
book.
book's going to be 100% feral pig.
All right. Is it title yet or no?
No, I haven't heard of it.
I don't know. It might be a working title right now.
But the other one is called A Field.
A Field,
And
yeah.
that's in the you could buy that in the restaurant now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get it on Amazon. I know it was out of print for a while, so it was like an $80 book because nobody could get a hold of it.
Oh yeah. A hardback, nice.
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, people should check that out for sure.
Yeah.
But Amazon too? Is yes? No?
Yeah.
You could, okay, cool. Yeah.
You can get anything on Amazon.
Anything. Oh, Amazon Whole Foods. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
even get Heather there now. Hell,
Yeah, I
You're
left
right.
before Amazon took over.
yeah. It's a different beast. I think. Right?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
really curious to see
Amazon.
firsthand what the changes have been.
You're going to be like creating your little schematic, and you're going to be like, Alexa, add this to my list, and like,
We should all be so lucky to have an Alexa at work doing some of the work for us.
I didn't even know we had an Alexa here, and I said that once, and she's here.
In your house?
Yeah,
You didn't know you had an
I
Alexa?
did not. But well, my daughter has an Amazon Fire.
The Fire Stick or
No, it's a
See,
tablet.
I'm not familiar.
It's a tablet.
Okay.
It's like a kid, it's for certain ages. It's like I think you can get the Fire for like adults. But
Okay.
Hers is strictly for children. And one time I said, "Hey Alexa," and just joking around, and the Fire started
Like, lit
talking.
up.
And I have never been able to do it again. So it's very weird. She was like,
it was a
"Oh, they
glitch
know
in
I'm
the
here."
system.
She's like, "I gotta keep it quiet."
You're supposed to know I'm listening.
They're always listening.
Yeah.
They are. Oh, they're listening. They're listening.
Oh yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
Google Home. She knows what's up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it comes in handy sometimes, right?
It does. I like to adjust the thermostat from upstairs.
I'm not that advanced.
I have a cell phone that's about as much as spying as I'm okay with.
Well,
Yeah.
I can adjust the thermostat from my cell phone too.
From right here, right?
Yeah.
Just turn it off right now.
Well, see, Austin does 24s or 48s at work. And so I have the temperature of the house set to a certain temperature when nobody's there. And so, like, I get in my car when it's super hot and I'm like adjusting the thermostat so that it's already cooling by the time I go home. It's awesome.
Nice.
We're so spoiled.
Well, yeah, right? I mean, I'll go with it. That's fine. Adjust the temp. It's nasty right now, especially. We're in
it's rough.
the crux of it. I mean, we're about to start cooling off, but it's nasty.
Knock
right
on
now.
wood.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Well, this is the hottest time of year, right?
Yeah, but
I think so.
Like sometimes it doesn't start cooling off till late November.
Well, especially after our climate change,
Yeah.
which is not real. I don't
Sure.
think. I don't know.
Where are the facts?
I remember you grew up in the North. You're from Chicago.
Yes.
And in Iowa, I remember having a winter coat on over my Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Because it'd be snowing like every Halloween. You're like, well, I guess we're going to go trick or treat in the snow.
Snow, Halloween. And I actually remember the winters when I was a child, being cold the whole time. Like there would be snow. Once the snow came, it would really be there. And maybe here and there it would melt and then it would come back. But the last few years that I was there, I remember like rain during the winters and it was the up and down and weird because in a short, I haven't been alive that long in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah, it's definitely changed a bit. So, I don't know what it's been like here, but it's hot.
Yep.
Damn hot.
Yeah. You've been here.
Yeah.
Has it changed a bit?
Yeah.
Hotter or?
It seems hotter longer.
Yeah.
And we're also not tolerating it as well as we used to.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that 2011 was the worst year here that I
The
can remember.
drought and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Like the longest triple digit days and no rain. Everything was just a tinderbox everywhere. It was depressing to live here, actually.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Go try the north. 'Cause when the sun goes away for just months, it gets really weird.
Well, up in Alaska when we were there, it's summertime, so the sun doesn't go down until 11:30 at night,
How
and
was
even
that?
then it's like twilight outside. Like you don't need a flashlight to walk around when you're out in the middle of nowhere where there's no streetlights or anything, and you can see.
I need the night. I need to, my body would not know what to do.
Yeah.
When we got back, because we got blackout curtains in our bedroom right before we went.
I need to do that there, yeah.
Well, when we got back, because we just had eye masks when we were up there weren't really curtains or anything in the bedroom where we were staying. And when I got back, I was like sleeping 12 hours. I was like, oh, it's so dark in here. It's so nice.
Right, yeah. It's blackout curtains are great for sleep.
Yeah, I think up there, actually, we
They're
went
too
into.
good for sleep for me. I'll just keep sleeping.
But, yeah, that's a good thing.
We went to a grocery store up there, and when you have just like a little cluster of small towns, they'll have like one giant grocery store where it's like a super Target on crack.
Yeah.
Like they just have everything you could possibly need, and they have a huge curtain section. I walked by at one point, I was like, oh yeah, they're investing in
grocery
blackout
store.
curtains. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense,
It's like a Sears and a,
Or like a Fred Meyer on the West Coast.
yeah,
These things are huge.
yeah.
So-
It actually was a Fred Meyer.
You did
The one that we went to, it was a Fred Meyer,
Yeah.
but it's just massive.
can
It's like,
buy a pair of Carhartts over there and get your car fixed over there.
yep.
It's like sort of like Costco in a way.
Yeah.
So married now, that's crazy. Alaska, no hunting there.
No, to get the hunting license would have been
Oh,
ridiculous.
okay.
Plus, I don't know if we were there during any particular season for hunting, but we did fish.
Yeah.
So we got sockeye salmon while we were there. So we shipped about 50 pounds of fish back from, well,
Did you?
didn't ship. You just check it with your luggage.
Wait a minute. What do you on ice? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, they actually, I think in the airport, they'll freeze it for you.
So you don't like ship it to your address.
No, you
bring
just check it
you.
with your luggage.
Crazy.
Where we were staying, they had a deep freeze. So we like vacuum sealed and processed everything while we were there and froze it. And then at that same grocery store, they have sections and like aisles of the grocery store with styrofoam containers for shipping or for sending back on your plane, because people just like descend on the area during salmon runs.
So do you have that at home now?
Some of it, yeah. So we shared it with the other couple that we went with.
How is it?
It's really good. Actually, I'm not a big fan of salmon, and so I was like, okay, I can't wait to try this fresh. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm the other way. I like salmon, but I mean, you can do a lot with it. It's a good meal. It's good for. It's good. I'm always like, I'm a fan of sleep. Like salmon before sleep, apparently, or like, for dinner is good. Like a healthy dose of omegas is really good for you.
Right before bed?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's right before bed, but I mean like in the evening, right?
Yeah.
Helps you sleep. So that's been my excuse, at least.
Why not?
I feel like that's the only way I'd want to eat salmon anymore. It's been on every menu of every restaurant I've ever worked in.
Yeah, it's very common,
everywhere.
right? Yeah, and it's all
But
unless you're getting it in Alaska.
yeah, fresh out of a river. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll allow it.
Yeah. When you go to like HEB, it's like a pale white almost.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty looking stuff.
I worked at this one restaurant in town. I'm not going to say what his name was, but lady asked like where we got our salmon and our tilapia. And go check the frozen box in the freezer, and they both said, they both said farm raised in China.
Oh.
And I was like, well, pretty much the worst answer.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And,
that's a gnarly answer.
It's so amazing where working at Dai Due now. It's like people ask that question, we know exactly where it's from.
That is cool,
and it's a great answer.
Yeah, I've done that. I think I found some frozen halibut or something from New Zealand or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always weird. It's like, oh, that's where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we brought some halibut back with us too. We didn't go halibut fishing, but the guy's dad had some in his freezer that he had gotten, and so he's like, "I'll let you guys have some." We're like, "Score!" Because I really like halibut.
Yeah, definitely. And banana nut muffins.
They're fine.
Yeah. So, you guys, thank you for coming in here.
Thanks for
having me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, go visit Musket. Go visit Heather at Whole Foods. Musket will be at Dai Due.
Running the show.
Definitely. On the market side.
Yes. Butcher shop.
Cool. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.